with disappointments from franchises like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars and DC Comics as of late, it is so weird to see a Transformers movie, of all things, be the one to bring life back into my eyes. Transformers 1, the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but who were once close friends bonded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. So yeah, it's an animated movie on how the well-known characters came to be. We've been tormented with bad Transformers films in the past, and I think the Michael Bay series has still left that bad stench on the newer films, by the fact that this one doesn't seem to be doing very well in cinemas at the moment, which is a real shame, because I actually kind of liked this one. It took a while for me to warm up to it though, and I get this is a family movie, so it's going to be one that kids will have to enjoy as well, but I think it starts off really basic in a lot of ways, mainly its dialogue and its conversations and script, which might sound strange, but I thought it was going to be this overly simplified story which would be a struggle for adult audiences to firmly grasp and engage with. But as we approach that halfway part where we've just left all that exposition behind us, we have our established characters discover some important secrets, and the film really gets going, and I really had a fun time with it from then on. This is also just me jumping ahead and missing the important fact, which is obviously the animation itself. There's a risk of everything in this Cybertron world looking the same, and that can be said for a few details like facial expressions of our characters and in general the overall vehicles that they're transforming into. But I will say that this is really well offset with some vibrant colouring and really interesting world designs. It's just not a Cybertron we've seen before. I've only ever seen and imagined it in this grey, bleak and metallic look, if I'm honest. So seeing them create this new interesting layout for the main city the story takes place in was kind of nice. And we also venture out into a couple different locations too, and it keeps that story pace feeling pretty smooth. The animation itself was pretty clean. Whilst there's some design questions for the characters themselves, there's still a lot that works, and in general everything is detailed enough with a lot going on in front of you to keep you pretty engaged and constantly looking out for new stuff. I spoke about the writing of the characters' dialogue, but I do think the overall treatment of the character growth for each of our main heroes is well executed. In particular, the treatment of our two centerpieces, Optimus, voiced by Chris Hemsworth, and Megatron, voiced by Tyree. Brian, that is not the name. Dude's got 3 names in one. Brian Tyree Henry, that's it. Transformers 1 really sells you on their brotherly friendship, and I think sows the seed well enough to also convince you of how we get to their positions that we're all familiar in, well, in any of the other Transformers things that we've seen before this. And yeah, you kind of feel bummed when it happens, which means that the writing and the voice acting must be doing its job. Hemsworth does kind of sound like Hemsworth, and to be fair, it's impossible for anyone to compare to the voice of Peter Cullen, but I think he pulls the impression off well enough to convince you of being a leader of the Autobots. It's more Brian Tyree Henry that I'm on the fence about. It works for the camaraderie part in the first half, but as he becomes more evil, I can't really decide if his voice is fitted for it or not. The rest of the voice cast is also stacked. Scarlett Johansson and Keegan-Michael voice our other two heroes, and they work great to balance out that group. Obviously, Keegan-Michael is the comedic relief, which works, but it's as a character of Bumblebee, though. Did they actually say he was called Bumblebee? I think they just used B. Anyway, it's weird seeing that Autobot just be such a goofball in this movie, although it did get some good laughs out of me. But yeah, you've also got Laurence Fishburne, Hamm, and Steve Buscemi to name a few others, and they're all great in this. They suit their characters perfectly, especially Steve Buscemi. I won't spoil who he is though, because I didn't know going into this and it was quite a fun surprise. But yeah, the film itself was generally quite a nice surprise, and it might honestly be up there as one of the best Transformers films we have. It's under 2 hours, doesn't drag, and had enough in there to keep me entertained. I would probably recommend seeing this, but maybe if you're a fan of Transformers in general, or you're looking for an easy family movie choice. Those not keen on watching this from the looks of the trailers probably still wouldn't be convinced if they tried to give this a go. Yeah, good stuff in my eyes. So that's Transformers 1. Will you watch it? Have you seen it already? If so, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and all that stuff. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews of movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.